Welcome to Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Now, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is a 2024 action-adventure shooter game developed by Rocksteady Studios, shout out Rocksteady Studios, and published by Warner Bros. Games, based on the DC Comics team Suicide Squad. It is a spin-off of the Batman Arkham series and a follow-up to Batman Arkham Knight. Now, that was off the dome. I clearly didn't even read that off of Google, but hey, y'all can say what y'all want. I heard that this game is very grindy. Hey man, I'm up for a grind anytime, any place, anywhere, you feel me? So hey, we about to see what this game about, and without further ado, let's get to it. So the game starts off in Metropolis, where you start off as Deadshot, and the game basically teaches you the mechanics of the game, how to use your jetpack, how to use your weapons, how to melee, stuff like that. And after that, you have to go through swarms of enemies while using these new tools at your disposal, and you have to make your way to a rendezvous point where you're supposed to meet you and the rest of your team, Captain Boomerang, King Shark, and Harley Quinn. Now, you have to repeat the same process with these other three characters as well. The game will teach you their weapons, their melee attacks and specialties and all that, and you have to also make that rendezvous point with those three characters as well. After the gang meets up at the rendezvous point, after that you will be taken to a character select screen where you have to choose out the four main characters to play as, and I was kind of stuck in between Deadshot and Harley Quinn. I say Deadshot because one, I didn't even know my boy Deadshot was a brother, you feel what I'm saying? Hey, I didn't even know he was black, bruh. Now you'll probably be like, bro, how you did not know he was black? Look, one, they could have made him black for this game. You know what I'm saying? I did not know. Two, I played Injustice, and the way I found out about Deadshot was through Injustice, and the dude always had a helmet on and a mask on, bro. So of course I didn't know, you know what I'm saying, who was under there. It could have been Spider-Man, could have been Bruce Wayne, who knows. And Harley Quinn, because I don't know, I just like her style, and she's a very funny character, and you know, I main her on Multiverses, that a fighting game that I used to play, but I don't know, I don't really play that game no more because it's pretty broken. Yeah, so I decided I ended up going with Harley Quinn, and if I didn't like her, I was gonna swap over to Deadshot. And after choosing your character, we're then brought to Brainiac's Skull Ship, where we're just invaded by a swarm of enemies, and we have to fight them off until evacuation time, which is exactly 3 minutes. After surviving the horde of enemies for 3 minutes, we're then having a rendezvous to the evacuation point. Well, while on the way there, we get shot by Brainiac's Skull Ship's laser, which solo squads all 4 members of the team, which then takes us to a flashback which unlocks this trophy. A trial by fire. In the flashback, the squad is brought to the Hall of Justice, where they had to steal important equipment. They had to steal equipment that we see that they have now, you know, like Harley Quinn's grappler, Deadshot's jetpack, Captain Boomerang's Speed Force gauntlet, and King Shark's hat of invisibility.
Where'd the shark go?
Children.
Hey, cleaning out the closet. After that, we left the Hall of Justice just to get orders from Amanda Waller, who's basically our boss, and if we didn't follow orders, she threatens to blow us up with the bomb she planted in our brains. So, our first order of business is to activate the transponder, and with activating the transponder, we was greeted with this purple blob looking thing, which is very disgusting, and with that, we had a wave of monsters spawn right on top of us. Basically, we had to fight them off to protect the transponder. After taking out all enemies and protecting the transponder, we're then greeted with a brainwashed Green Lantern, who then captures us and kind of flies us around the city, showing all the chaos that is going on, showing us all the chaos that's been going on within the city, and how Brainiac is capturing civilians and turning them into these creatures and adding them to his army. Afterward, we are then brought to a rooftop where Green Lantern is telling us about Brainiac's plan and threatening to kill and is about to kill Deadshot until Flash comes to save the day, starting up their fight and then freeing us from Green Lantern's shackle. We're then given orders to try to rescue Flash from Green Lantern, and we run up to a rooftop where Flash greets us and telling us to escape from the city because, you know, the evasion's going on. After saying that, he continues his fight with Green Lantern, who's become a giant, and while Flash is trying to talk to Green Lantern, he realizes that there is no hope in him and he has to try to fight him. And as the fight proceeded, Flash loses pretty badly, and we are now having to find a wounded Flash somewhere. And when we find him, we pretty much find him on 1 HP lying on the rooftop. And since the main cast is a bunch of villains, they try to leave Flash for dead as a bunch of creatures spawn on different buildings and surround us. And Amanda Waller gives us the orders to try to save Flash, and if we don't, our heads are getting blown off. After fending off against waves of enemies, the squad then realize reinforcements are then being called from Brainiac's ghost ship, and they take Flash into an abandoned building called the Batman Experience, where inside it's very dark, everything's pitch black. They see a room that's lit up where they take Flash inside to try and interrogate him, but Deadshot hears a sound and he feels something's a bit off. They see a police guy running, screaming for help, but then gets snatched up by Batman himself. But it's all good though, you know, Batman doesn't kill people, so he should be fine, right? And after that, we see a policewoman running out and getting their stuff sniped by a batarang. Yeah, as you can see, people out here getting their stuff folded like an omelet for real. And then the man himself pops up, Batman appears, and he really turns this into a real Batman experience by turning off all the lights within the building, turning this game from an action adventure game to a horror game real quick.
Go get him, Flash!
After that, the squad then realizes Batman closed off all exits and entrances on the building, and then they're all separated to kind of fend for themselves and try to find a way out. And we start off as Deadshot, where we're just finding our way, and we're also coming across booby traps that Batman has placed, and he's kind of moving around himself. It's actually a real crazy, kind of a bit scary experience, you know. It's a little light horror that they threw into the game, which I find pretty cool. Yeah, so one by one with each character, you kind of got to go through a certain pathway and avoid booby traps and reach the rendezvous point with that certain character. And one by one, Deadshot, King Shark, and Boomerang all got knocked off. Yeah, GG. But when I came to Harley Quinn, I was able to find a way out, but unfortunately was stopped by Batman himself, who then pushes Harley to the ground and is about to kill her until Flash wakes up from his coma and ends up stopping the bullet from connecting and is beat mercilessly by Batman himself. But before he gets killed, he is taken back to Brainiac's ghost ship by Batman, is never to be seen again. Hey, Hitting the Fan survived the Batman experience. From there, we head back to the Hall of Justice to meet up with the tech team. And the first person we meet is somebody called Hack, and she's supposed to be on the tech support team. And she's the person we go to if we want to upgrade our abilities and skill tree. After that, we run into Roller, who was telling us to get ready to suit up and get ready for the next mission. From there, we see the squad suit up and get their iconic fits that we all know and seen in the beginning of the game.
Yeah, right.
And we also get this super cool, epic walkout from them. Yeah, the slow-mo, bruh.
A few moments later.
Hey, Suicide Squad! Fuck you!
Is this nigga serious?
After that, we leave the Hall of Justice and begin to talk about how we're gonna go about killing the Justice League. And first things first, we're gonna need to upgrade our arsenal. So the first thing we do is try to go find Cobblepot, aka the Penguin, to try to recruit him so we can get better gear to fight off the Justice League. After exchanging hellos with Penguin, we try to convince him to leave Metropolis, saying that Argus was hot on their tails and then they needed to get out of Metropolis. But unfortunately, King Shark sells. But unfortunately, King Shark kind of tells and rats on us by saying that we are working with Argus, which then leads Penguin to kind of screw us over and call in aliens to try to come and kill us. After fighting off waves of aliens, we then break into Penguin's spot and we catch him trying to make his escape. Unfortunately, this plan is easily stopped by just taking on the two henchmen that is escaping with him. And then Boomerang injects Penguin with some type of device, and from there Penguin try to leave once again, trying to make his grand escape, but a Mauler puts a stop to that by electrocuting the dude and he falls to the ground. And then the rest of the crew starts having fun toying with him.
Oh my god! He's getting up!
Hitting him again.
He's ran out the door! Somebody stop him!
Did that get him?
No! It very much did not get him. Waller, blow up his head.
Shut your stupid
A foul play. Recruit your first support squad member. Now I know this is kind of random and outside of the trophies, but if I had to say I had a favorite scene from the story mode in this game, it definitely has to be this one right here.
All humans do is manipulate. In my home, father would never.
I'm your daddy now, Shark.
Nah.
That goes for all of you. I'm your daddy.
So after that hilarious scene, we're then kind of stumped on what else to do. We got advice from Hack telling us to find Poison Ivy, help us kill the Justice League. So we went to the location that Hack sent us where Poison Ivy is supposed to be, and when we got there, we found a random flower that just sprouting from the ground. I had no idea what it was, but it turns out we see this big giant flower sprout from the ground, and inside it was none other than Poison Ivy herself. But unfortunately, she's a kid. Yeah, that was very disappointing to see. After fighting Poison Ivy, we then had to work with her to fend off against the aliens that's trying to destroy all her flowers. And after doing so, we then gained her trust and she were able to add her to the squad, giving me this trophy. Now we are preparing for the fight for Flash. Now I personally felt under leveled, so I went and did some side missions to get some of my weapon levels up and my stats up as well. And as soon as I was finished that, I immediately went into the boss fight with Flash. Now the first thing we see here is the squad pull up to the stadium like area, and they broadcast themselves to try to get Flash's attention to come and fight. And it works. While being provoked by Boomerang, Flash decides to show himself, and then he tries to attack Boomerang, but he gets blown back by Lex Luthor's anti-speed force gadget, which gave us a fighting chance. Now in the fight, Flash is gonna have his shield up, and to disable his shield, you're gonna have to wait until you see a bunch of blue spikes circle around his body. And once you do, you want to go ahead and use your counter shot. Now once you use your counter shot, you're gonna disable the shield and you're free to just spray him down, as long as you still have that blue bar. But as soon as that blue bar runs out, then you're going to have to rinse and repeat that same process. Now there's going to be these times where he's going to turn into he's going to create some type of big spike orb or something, and you're going to want to throw a grenade before it explodes, because pretty sure it could take a lot of damage or even die from it. And yeah, you just rinse and repeat these two things until the fight is over and Flash is down. A Thunderstruck. Now after a fight, we got into a little scruffle with Green Lantern, and then we had to escape through a portal, which then put us in another metropolis but in a different dimension. Then as we were trying to find our way out of this dimension, we run into another Lex Luthor, but apparently he's in danger from the aliens outside, or he need us to escort him back to his headquarters so he could try to help us escape. Now while escorting Lex Luthor, there will be these signal towers that pop up, and what you want to do is head over there and destroy all the aliens that's surrounding that tower. And then finally, after all enemies are defeated, you will want to destroy that tower and proceed escorting him all the way to the rendezvous. Once you get to the rendezvous point, you will want to fend off against the aliens and protect the payload truck until the time is up. And once it is up, Lex Luthor then presses a button to activate the teleporter, so that we can teleport back to our world, which then gives us this trophy. Hell and back. Rescue Lex Luthor. Alright, so the next person to body in the Justice League is Green Lantern. Now, it's said that Lex Luthor said he has some Yellow Lantern tech to take down Green Lantern, so we head over to his spot to collect the anti-lantern weapon. Now, when we arrive, we learned from Lex Luthor that our boss, Amanda Waller, was actually betraying us the whole time and would actually turn up to kill us or brainwash us in the end of this whole operation. After learning that, we decided to work with Lex Luthor to defeat the rest of the Justice League. In return, we promised to not turn him in as of yet. Afterward, he shows us the anti-lantern weapons that he's been working on, and he gives it to us so we can work on defeating Green Lantern. Before finding Green Lantern though, we had to take down his defensive systems, which is pretty easy. All you have to do is shoot down every single gun that's kind of surrounding the yellow beam. After that, you would then be able to fight Green Lantern himself, and how to beat him is you will have to destroy every single one of his constructs. Constructs being his green helicopters that he spawns in, his green bombs that he spawns in, his green guns that he spawns in, just anything green that he spawns in. As soon as you take those down, you will see that his green bar at the top of the screen go down, and as soon as that's gone, you would then be able to shoot Green Lantern and start taking down his health. Now I'm not gonna lie to you, in this boss fight right here, I was getting whooped, so I had to back out of the boss fight and upgrade or change my guns around, because apparently it turned out that I was using a weak old Uzi that was not putting in no damage, so I had to switch out my loadout, and I went back in and I was finally able to beat him. A Blackest Night. Alright, so the next person we got a body in the Justice League, Batman. Now, first things first, to get to Batman, we gotta find his Batcave. And while we're in the Batcave, we see him through the glass door. So when we open the door, we open fire just to find out it's a hologram. That's basically a message to Nightwing, letting him know that the Justice League is in trouble. He then proceeds to explain everybody's weakness in the Justice League, just in case if they ever go corrupt. And just when he was about to reveal Superman's weakness, the hologram then disappears along with the building, and we get put in this weird genjutsu pretty much, and it's basically the Batman Experience Part 2. So yeah, y'all basically pretty much get the gist of this. Now, due to the fear toxins, we have to fight a giant Batman. To beat the Batman boss battle, what you want to do is, first things first, dodge obstacles that Batman is throwing at you, and you want to shoot at his eyes, or even his Batman symbol on his chest. You want to shoot his, that's what I was doing, I was just shooting his eyes and his Batman symbol on his chest, and you just want to keep shooting him until you see blue spikes pop up around his chest area or wherever it pops up, and then you want to do your critical counter, and by doing the critical counter, you'll then be able to do massive damage on him. And then just avoid obstacles, shoot down any obstacles that's trying to attack you from the air. The world's greatest detective. Let's go. Alright, so the last person to murk in the Justice League is Superman. Now, you probably wondering, wait, last person, what happened to Wonder Woman? There was a cutscene where Superman bodied Wonder Woman. They've been fighting even around the time the Suicide Squad was fighting Batman. So yeah, now we are here at the location that Lex Luthor sent us to fight Superman at. Now, to fight Superman is actually pretty simple. What you want to do is you want to shoot him until you will see the blue spikes that I've been talking about for every other boss fight pop up. And when that pops up, you will want to use your critical counter. Now, when you use your critical counter, there will be a yellow bar right underneath Superman's health bar that will rise up. And what that is this thing called yellow kryptonite. And you can see it on Harley Quinn. You can see that she has yellow kryptonite all over her body. And that is the weapon that Lex Luthor gave us to be able to defeat Superman. Yeah, you just basically want to keep rinsing and repeating that. Just dodge his attacks and just keep shooting him until that yellow bar fills up. And once that's filled up, you'll be able to keep shooting him and do even more damage than before. But yeah, but once you finally defeat Superman, you will then get this trophy. Hey, abandon all hope. Now, a couple things, okay? Now, first things first, I want to shout out OBS for not clipping any of the footage I got when I was trying to record my final boss fight or the final story mode trophy. So shout out OBS, thank you very much. Now, two, so right after fighting Superman, we had to fight Brainiac. Now, how to fight Brainiac? We had to go to a whole nother dimension to fight Brainiac. And when we had to fight Brainiac, the boss fight wasn't really anything new. It was just it was Brainiac, but he had all the Justice League members moveset, and we just had to fight the henchmen to get a Brainiac. Same thing we've been doing with against the Justice League. We just had to keep hitting him until the blue spikes happen, and then we critical counter him, and then we take down his health, and then rinse and repeat. Henchman, critical counter, rinse and repeat. You know, it wasn't really anything new, you know what I'm saying? So the boss fight was kind of whatever. But yeah, it was said that in the story that there's 13 Brainiacs that we have to beat, but luckily for this trophy, you only have to defeat one of them. And I don't even think there's another trophy going into detail about going for the other 12, 13. So I'm happy about that personally, because that was pretty boring. But anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it for the story mode trophies. Now we got to get into the miscellaneous and grindy trophies. So yeah, let's get into it. All right, so the first set of trophies we got to go for first are the squad mission trophies. Now the squad mission trophies, I'll put them on the screen here, are these squad missions right here, and each row contains a trophy. So as soon as you complete each row, you will get a trophy for each row that you complete. Now within those missions are pretty simple missions. One where you got to save civilians, save Penguin thugs, where you got to defeat a certain amount of enemies, you got to save Poison Ivy's plants. Like, it's little tedious missions like that you're gonna have to be doing. So yeah, now these missions aren't particularly hard. There are some kind of like weird ones where you can only hit enemies with boosted damage, so you know, there's stuff like that. But other than that, none of these are pretty hard, and you should get this fairly easy. Alright, so the next set of trophies are collectible trophies. Now these trophies are ones where you have to run around and solve riddles. And the first trophy that I got for this is called the oldest one in the book. Now, if you think I'm about to run around this big ass city looking for these riddles, you're crazy. I went to a guide, obviously. I'm gonna put it on the screen here for y'all to tune into if you're also trying to go for this platinum. But yeah, I went and watched that video to solve all the riddles, and I did that up until I got all 40 riddles, and that's when I got this trophy right here. This trophy, man. Hey, the oldest one in the book. We finally got it. 40 Riddler trophies later. Let's go. Alright, the next set of trophies we have are grindy trophies, and these trophies you have to get every single character to their max level. Now the one I'm showing on screen is when I'm getting Deadshot to max level. Now how you get these characters to max level, what I did was I went around Metropolis, and you will see these portals in the game, and on the map they look like yellow triangles. So when you go to these, basically they're called incursion missions, and by the way, by completing one incursion mission you'll get a trophy, and by completing all 5 incursion missions you'll get a trophy for that too. Incursion missions are pretty easy. You have to go through like 3 rounds of enemies and then you pretty much finish, and by upping the difficulty you will get more XP to then upgrade your character more faster and speeding up the process. So I just did this up until level 30 for my character, got the trophy, and then I just rinse and repeat. Alright, so now we got one of the grindiest trophies that I had to go through. Now this trophy I'm talking about is called Trial by Blood, and what you have to do is reach squad level 50. Now after reaching max level with every character, you then have to grind an XP bar for your squad level, and with this squad level you can unlock perks for your squad and be able to get upgrades and weapon upgrades. The way I did this was in the same way I've upgraded my characters. I basically just did the same incursion mission over and over, the one you're seeing on screen. I just replayed that over and over, and yeah, this took a long time. It honestly took me longer than it needed to, but this was a grind. One of the grandest trophies I've gotten on this game so far. But yeah man, this took a minute. Hey man, I'm just glad it's finally over. Oh wait, I got it. Trial by Blood. Finally, bro. This took days after days to get, and we finally got it. Oh my. And that wouldn't be my only grindy trophies, because these 3 trophies right here are probably one of the rarest trophies in the game. And the first trophy is called the Venom Connection, All Sorts of Fun, and the Reaper. What you have to do for these trophies is equip 3 pieces of the tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 Bane and Family set. Now how to get these are pretty simple. You'll want to play the incursion missions at a certain mastery level. Now how to unlock mastery levels is that you'll want to keep playing these incursion missions, all of them at a certain level, and when you play them all at that certain level you unlock a new level, and you kind of rinse and repeat. And by doing this you will be able to further your chances of getting this equipment. As soon as you get this equipment you want to throw it on, and there you will get the trophies. Hey, the Reaper. Yeah, so you probably would think that this is the last grindy trophy, right? No sir, there's still a couple more to go. So these next set of grindy trophies are Battle Lines, Killing Time, Into the Angry Planet, and the Final Frontier. How to get these trophies are pretty simple. You'll want to unlock the mastery levels I was just talking about, and by unlocking them, unlocking levels 5, 10, 15, 20, you will get these trophies. It takes some time, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, so now this is actually the final 2 grindy trophies we have left until the platinum. Now these 2 trophies are called Allies and Need to Know. Basically what support squad contacts are, you basically have contacts that hack gives you that you can go on ahead and complete, and you can choose whichever ones to do. So you can just fully focus on killing a certain amount of enemies, afflicting amount of enemies with some type of special ability. You'll basically have 5 contacts that the hack will give to you, and you can do multiple at once, or you can just kind of do it one at a time. And whenever you complete a contact, new ones will appear that you can do, so it's kind of endless and you're not limited to a certain amount, so that's cool. This took me some time. It took me, I'll say probably like what, 2 days to complete this, but yeah, nonetheless man, the grind is almost over man. The grind is almost over. Trophy. Hey, Need to Know. Finally, we're done with all the grindy trophies. Now let's get this last trophy for the platinum, boy. And that last trophy was called Grand Experiment, and what you have to do is get Toyman to elite a piece of gear. Now basically all I had to do was go back to the Hall of Justice to where the squad is, and I just had to go talk to Toyman so he could elite a piece of one of my gears, and boom, the platinum's ours. I think elite, right? We're just gonna go with, I guess, the melee. Go put elite. And there we go, Grand Experiment. Now with that being said, man, y'all already see it, the 100%. Let's get this platinum. The beginning of the end. The Ultimate Squad. We finally platinum. Suicide Squad killed the Justice League, and I'm gonna be honest bro, this game is beyond mid bro. I'm actually about to delete this game right after I'm done. I'm gonna be honest, I would never play this on my free time. I ain't gonna lie, I really only got it because of the PS Plus thing, y'all know that. It was still playable though. It wasn't bad enough to the point where it would just, I can't play it, you know. It was pretty mid bro, like the story was pretty bleh. I would never touch this a day in my life again. But yeah, let me show y'all real quick. This game is recommended to take about 50 hours to platinum, and it took me about 86 hours close to platinum in this game. It was a lot of grindy trophies, bro. A lot of grindy trophies. But hey, man, we got it done. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to click this video right here to watch.